Big or small, unbothered we'll file them all. Don't waive your rights, we'll fight for you. Save the money on your taxes, that's all we do.
Settle your back taxes now with Tax Network USA. Our firm can save you up to 75% on your tax bill. Call now for your consultation. Call 1-800-245-6000. That's 1-800-245-6000. 1-800-245-6000.
Did you know that you can save up to half on your wireless plan when you switch cellular? They offer unlimited talk and text with a flexible data plan starting at $20 a month with the same premium coverage as the nation's largest carriers. Plus, their award-winning customer support makes switching a breeze. Go to consumercellular.com/radio25 and for a limited time, get $25 off when you use promo code radio25.
How'd you like a potential to participate in credited indexed returns and limit the downside? Join Edmund Brown for the Safe Money Radio Show. Call Edmund Brown for your complimentary Safe Money Radio Kit and Safe Money Radio book at 1-844-306-SAFE. When the power goes out, your life is just air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage. Standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a Generac home standby generator. Please contact My Generator Guy at mygeneratorguy.com for a free estimate or call 9-432-1155. Don't be left in the dark. Do you suffer from any type of chronic neck or even bone-on-bone arthritis? You've probably tried most doctors and get little relief, or told dangerous medications and surgeries are your only option. Dr. John Filippini has more options for your treatment than ever before. Equipment and an integrative medical office, you can have 80 to 100% relief within a few treatments to a couple of. Dr. Filippini has helped thousands of patients, but he's never seen such great results as he has in the last couple of years. This is due to individualized treatment programs that fit each patient's needs. Depending on the treatment, insurance may cover some or even all of your program. Call Dr. Filippini at 925-999-4067 to get in on his $39 exam special, or visit danvilleDiscDoctor.com for more information. That's 925-999-4067 or danvilleDiscDoctor.com. A problem to solve. I don't want to pay off your student loan. So, came up with a theory. The F theory is taking off. What is the F theory? That sounds kind of weird. Dan even simplified this theory down to 3 easy steps. Take the F, remove it from the sheet, take it to a job, and you can pay back your loan. It's very complicated. Dan Bongino, breaking things down so even liberals can understand them. 9 to noon on your radio and smart speaker at 560 KS.
Lawless place on the road.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too. Love has no labels and one small step. Different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/one small step. A message for Love Has No Labels in the Ad Council.
The Armstrong and Getty Show.
Joe Biden happened upon a handful of classified documents that were in a private office he used at the University of Pennsylvania. Now, aides have discovered what has been described as a batch of additional materials at a location. And can't we tie a big spoon to these documents like they do with the gas station bathroom keys? Or what? Okay. So the staffers of Joe Biden are now searching everywhere he could have possibly left documents. His knapsack, his pill organizer, under the arch at the 1904 World's Fair. It could be anywhere. Pill organizer. Wow.
jokes right there. So that was last night on Kimmel. Time NBC had broken the story that a second location has been found where Joe Biden's keeping classified documents in not the way you're supposed to. Well, that news is now out. His home, which was some of the speculation, his home in Wilmington, Delaware. 2 locations in his home, in the garage and a room adjacent to the garage, which I would assume is a room where you have your washer, dryer, your muddy rain boots, and your dog bowl. Yeah, like your mud room or your laundry room. Let's see, where do I put the plans to Fort Knox? Oh, it's over here. Right, Sergeant's Treats. That's the way I do a lot of my stuff. You know, I regularly have important papers that are sitting on the dryer because I meant to bring them in the house or take them to work or something. No, they're on the way in or the way out. Yeah. Hey, Michael, by the way, what was that groovy bumper music? That was Jeff Beck. I wondered a little Jeff Beck music because he died. Yeah, unique musician, no doubt. Name more famous than his music these days, but a fine player. Younger than Joe Biden, 78. 78 years old. So, just looking at the Twitter and everything like that, I was reading from CNN the latest information on where they found the documents, making the point several times today that all your media is on this story for some reason. It's been a while since we've had a scandal that everybody was engaged in. Usually it's either the Fox crowd or the crowd, but not both. But everybody's on this story. We'll see where it goes. And nobody's saying a locked garage or a locked room now, like the original a locked closet at his think tank. If it's just in the garage at the home, that's completely different. Well, isn't everybody's garage more or less locked? I mean, the back door to the house or the backyard is locked, and you gotta have the remote to open the garage. Well, it's on Mar-a-Lago is more or less locked, too, isn't it? I don't know. And the whole scandal thing. Is there a scandal? That's what I want to know. I want to know what's actually going on. And at this point, the feeding frenzy, to my surprise, has grown to all of the alphabet networks. And so, what are the documents? What's the deal with how much stuff is classified? Is there anything anybody gives a damn? Well, yeah. In those documents? How about the documents? Need to reiterate, I don't think there's hardly anybody, including me, that's I wonder what the documents were. Oh, I wonder what leaked to the Chinese. Nobody's thinking about that. It's just the political conundrum. Are you going to pursue Trump as a criminal, but not Biden on this? With the differences, I realize there are differences, although the differences are getting smaller. Originally, it was Trump had 300, Biden has 10. Well, how many is it now? Then we have 2 more rooms with documents in it. What are the numbers now on the documents? Well, and apparently they're everywhere. Yeah, are we done finding? Drops in the note. Hey, Joe, thanks for the biography of George Washington. I'm really enjoying it. Best to Jill. We'll see you soon. Is that classified? Because it's from a date? I don't know. Here's what I think. I think it makes much more less likely that the Attorney General is going to charge Trump with anything because of this. I think that's the sum of the story. I don't think Biden will be charged with anything, but now I definitely don't think Trump will be charged. Yeah, maybe somebody will plea that we need to reform the handling of classified materials. Gee, you think? That's probably all that'll come out. Politically, it would just be so weird looking to charge Trump with something and not Biden. Next hour. Popular on the left to deny that cancel culture exists. A counterpoint for you. If you can't stay tuned for next hour, grab the podcast, Armstrong and Getty On Demand.
Armstrong and Getty.
Talk Radio 560 KSFO San Francisco. San Mateo, a Cumulus media station. Found at a Biden residence in the garage. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Details just out on the second batch of classified documents discovered from the president's days as vice president.
Biden searched his homes in Wilmington and Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. That's when they discovered a small number of additional records from the Obama-Biden administration with classified markings on them in a storage space in the Wilmington home. It was one page was discovered stored room.
Talked to Tanya J. Powers. Republicans have been demanding a lot more answers about both sets of documents. The first found that a Washington think tank office Joe Biden used for years after he was the vice president.
Who had access to the Biden Center? Who owned the building? I don't know. We know China money funded a lot of the activities at that Biden Center.
President Jim Jordan among GOP lawmakers wanting a special counsel to investigate, like the one appointed to probe the documents the FBI seized from former President Trump's Florida resort. Now, last summer, President Biden called those Trump actions irresponsible. Just minutes ago, the president reiterated what he said the other day.
People know I take classified documents and classified materials seriously. I also said we're fully and completely the Justice Department's review.
The president said that after making comments on the economy, saying, "We are continuing to make real progress."
You know, inflation is high. Major economies around the world is coming down in America month after month, giving families some real breathing room.
This after the report showing consumer prices dipped slightly last month from November, and inflation's annual rise down to 6.5%, 9% last summer. Since then, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates to try to inflation. Brian Koberger's due in court a second time in Idaho right about now for a status hearing in the case against the man charged with killing 4 University of Idaho students. America's listening to Fox News.
You've heard me discuss how everyday aches and pains were affecting my daily life. I started taking Relief Factor. You've also heard me talk to you about how they have found relief from their aches and pains with Relief Factor. Well, let me tell you about Gary from California. Gary cannot thank you enough. I am 62 years old and have just started taking Relief Factor. Never felt better and will recommend Relief Factor to all my daily life. Well, thanks for writing, Gary. 3 weeks from now, you could be doing the things you enjoy doing. Your first step to living the life you love, free from aches and pains, could just be to order the 3-week quick start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, 1 million people have gone on to order more. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
This report is sponsored by Discover. We can talk about how complicated other banks make it to redeem credit card rewards. Or we can talk about how with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Support certified wildlife. Visit AmericansHumane.org to learn more.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500. It's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. A huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, you can a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
After this message, you're looking at KSFO traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing is committed to quality and printing perfect every time. Now at Staples, get $10 off your marketing materials order of $50 or more. Offer ends 2/11. Use staples.com/store/printing for details. Try Staples and see the difference. We have stop traffic in Fremont, northbound. Sideways with 2 left lanes. Traffic is stopped from after Dixon's Landing Road. Look out at 7. Look out at road exit. We have a 2-vehicle crash blocking the left lane. Traffic right now stopped and big golf for a tow truck. That's traffic. I'm Katie Green.
This report is sponsored by 3-Dimensional Wealth. Join Doug Andrew of 3-Dimensional Wealth as he teaches free workshops in Morgan Hill, Palo Alto, Dublin, Alamo, and Sacramento, Wednesday, November 9th through Friday the 11th. Call now for details. 1-888-73-RADIO.
We've all felt that.
time, I picked up your pills, made your lunch, and your laundry is done.
When you care for a loved one, you take care of everything. But are you taking care of yourself? Find AARP.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Radio studio at the George Washington Broadcast Center. Jack Armstrong and Joe Getty. Strong and Getty Show.
Sancho's character, they got elected in the House of Representatives as a Republican. Sociopath liar. I mean, he's like got a real line problem. Some more of his lies came out yesterday. They're hilarious. This guy is amazing. So more on that later this hour.
There's almost nothing in his resume that is true.
No, I mean, and he swears he's not going to.
Yeah. And Kevin McCarthy says don't. He got elected. You know, dry January for a lot of us. I drank last night.
Oh boy. It's a little January. I haven't looked at the calendar.
It's January 12th, yes, according to my figures. Association of bourbon enthusiasts, and we had our monthly thing, and last night one of the major distillers was doing a tasting of all sorts of stuff, and I thought, that sounds kind of good. And I'm not talking about this because anybody cares about me or my life, but every time we get into this stuff, we get lots of emails, people saying, hey, thanks for talking about that, blah, blah, blah. So, I was hitting it hard enough in December that I was starting to be concerned whether I could stop drinking.
So it was a wet December.
Oh, Lord, it was like California wet, yeah. And I started to think, man, I'm drinking enough. I have a serious alcohol problem. But then I said, Judy and I decided, no, we're not going to drink in January, or at least most of it. And it's been effortless, practically effortless. And I'm so glad I'm happy, I'm sleeping better, I feel terrific. But so we had this event last night, and I figured, I'm going to go and taste the bourbon and then get back on the wagon. And the reason I think it's not a bad idea, it's a good idea, is it reinforces why it's good in the first place. Drinking is not inevitable. It's not a pattern. It's not what you do every night just because you do it every night. It's a conscious choice. Every drink needs to be conscious. So I fell off the wagon last night. Am I right back on it today? The answer is yes.
Doing it out of habit.
Well, now, after they sawed off his left leg, now you've been taking it more seriously.
Yeah, if you haven't heard us talk about the new street drug trank, listen to the podcast, I guess.
So hard. Oh, my God. Anyway, diet or exercise or a habit like alcohol or whatever, don't get discouraged if you screw up or you take a day off or have a cheat day or whatever. Just get right back to it.
Well, I can't do that. I wish I could. I can't do that with hardly anything. That's just the way I'm built. And it's weird. I don't know what the psychology of that is. I can swear off donuts for the year. Not eat donuts for the year. Probably. But I can't decide. Like yesterday, there was bacon on top of them. Good, I saw. Especially great bacon donuts.
Satan stopped by?
Yeah, it really didn't seem like it was somebody who was just like trying to lure me out of my
bacon-covered donut.
But I'm not a guy who can like, I'll eat that donut and then tomorrow I'll go back to. It just doesn't work that way for me with anything.
Oh, should you know that? Does I know himself to be true? Cocaine on top of the bacon on top of the donut. What the hell is that?
Does it come with a girl?
I mean, what else is that? Served on the belly of a comely wench. What the hell? Anyway, where were we? Time for what I was going to do. My fault. There is a popular sentiment being expressed on the left that there's no such thing as cancel culture. AOC recently brushed off the phenomenon. A bunch of entitled people being challenged and held accountable for their problematic views. Charles M. Blow, who's an awful human being, he writes a column for the New York Times, just tweeted, once more, there's no such thing as cancel culture. There is free speech. You can say and do as you please, and others can't deal with you, your company, or your product ever again. The rich and powerful are just upset that the masses can now organize their dissent.
Hey, not to be insidery about media stuff, because I don't know how many people follow this. Have you heard any blowback, pardon the expression, on getting hired as a columnist at the New York Times? Because remember when they brought Brett Stevens over from the Wall Street Journal, there was some blowback. Oh no, a Republican is going to be a columnist at the New York Times, and he is way tepid as a conservative compared to David French. He's a hardcore evangelical Christian, is conservative as conservative gets. And I haven't heard any uproar about that out of the New York Times. I mean, I would guess Mr. Blow is not happy about David French being a colleague now.
Because French is anti-Trump?
Could be. That could be.
Yeah, he's an anti. Yeah. No, in answer to your question, no, I haven't heard anything about that whatsoever. I just think the fever pitch is down so much. But anyway, back to this cancel culture doesn't exist thing. This is a piece written by Colin Wright, who is a scientist. And he describes himself for a while. He's an academic biologist, evolutionary biologist. It's been a passion from a young age. He got degrees in it, et cetera, et cetera. And years ago, he maintained a blog that he used to debunk pseudoscience. And the arguments he got into were he was anti-creation, anti-intelligent design, and he would argue with Christian conservatives and creationists and intelligent folks frequently told me I was wrong or stupid, but my critics never called me a bigot. They engaged with me. This changed, however, when I started graduate school in 2013. This was an environment where I didn't have to worry about right-wing creationists. Rather, the pseudoscience I was coming from the other side of the political spectrum, especially in the form of blank slate proponents who argue that sex differences in human personality, preferences, and behavior are entirely the result of socialization.
That's crazy. How could anybody think that if they've ever raised kids? Have you ever human? I can't believe that.
It is a belief so idiotic and insane that anybody holds. I mean, it's really difficult to comprehend anybody with two brain cells to rub together advocating this point of view, but to quote Sowell for the at the time, there's some ideas so idiotic only an intellectual could hold them. During this time, he writes, that I started to take an interest in what many now call, quote, gender ideology. This ideology not only invites compassionate treatment for trans individuals, support, of course, but also promotes the scientifically inaccurate claims that biological sex, spectrum, that notions of male and female may be mere social constructs, and that one's sex may be determined by self-declared identity instead of reproductive anatomy. When I pushed back against these claims, I was smeared as a transphobic bigot. Field to those who champion fashionable fiction. Then he does a little more biography of himself, graduated with his PhD in evolutionary biology from UC Santa Barbara in 2018, postdoctoral position at Penn State, on and on. Even scientists whom I knew personally and respected were parroting this nonsense as scientific fact, but I dared not say a word. I would soon be applying to tenure-track assistant professor jobs. I could not be seen publicly arguing down the claim that internally felt gender feelings trumped biology. In 2018, the grievance studies scandal dropped. That was the absolute brilliant dissenting prank project by friends of the Armstrong and Getty show, James Lindsay, Peter Boghossian, and Helen Pluckrose, where they submitted all those ridiculous, hilariously fictional scientific published with a straight face in Social Science Journal. A few weeks later, one of the world's most prestigious scientific journals, Nature, published an editorial claiming that classifying an individual's sex using any combination of anatomy and genetics has, quote, no basis in science. That is straight, folks, out of Nazi Germany. That is straight out of Soviet Russia. That's a Maoist China. Those events happening in such, that's right, sir, in such close succession pushed me beyond my threshold for restraint. Despite my academic mentors' warnings that speaking up could ruin my career, I let my bottled up frustrations out in an essay I sent to Quillette. It was published under the headline, The New Evolution Denier. The essay went viral. While I received my fair share of praise